Welcome to the Daily Globe. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The global aviation industry is undergoing a seismic shift, ending decades of dominance by Boeing and Airbus. China is at the center of this transformation, moving away from Boeing, embracing Airbus, and championing its own manufacturer, COMAC. This isn't just about buying planes, it's about reshaping global trade, technology, and the future of flight. With China making up a fifth of the world's aviation market, its choices ripple across economies, jobs, and international relations. For the US, losing ground in China is a strategic blow. For Europe, it's a major opportunity. For China, it's a leap towards self-sufficiency. The aviation world is no longer a simple duopoly, it's a high-stakes contest of ambition, pride, and power. Understanding this shift is key to grasping the future of air travel and global commerce. As China charts its own course, the skies are set for a turbulent, transformative era. China's aviation story began with Soviet help, as the country sought to build its air power from the ground up in the aftermath of war and revolution. In those early decades, the focus was almost entirely on military aircraft, with resources and expertise channeled into defense. As a result, China's commercial aviation sector remained underdeveloped and lagged far behind global standards for many years. The turning point came with sweeping economic reforms in the late 1970s, when China began to open its doors to the world. These reforms not only transformed the nation's economy, but also created opportunities for international partnerships in aviation. Boeing became a crucial partner, delivering its first jet to China in 1972. A landmark moment that signaled the start of a new era for Chinese aviation. Over the following decades, Boeing played a key role in modernizing China's fleets, introducing advanced technology and operational know-how that helped bring Chinese airlines up to international standards. This partnership extended far beyond aircraft sales. Chinese firms were gradually integrated into Boeing's global supply chains, manufacturing critical components and gaining valuable experience in high-tech production. At the same time, new training programs emerged, nurturing a generation of skilled aviation professionals, engineers, pilots, and technicians, who would drive the industry's future growth. Yet, China's ambition to build its own passenger jets never faded. Motivated by national pride and the strategic need for self-reliance, the country continued to invest in homegrown, aerospace innovation. The creation of COMAC in 2008 marked a bold step toward independence, signaling China's determination to compete with established giants in the global market. Meanwhile, Airbus deepened its ties by building assembly lines in China, embedding itself in the local industry and forging strong relationships with Chinese partners. This strategy paid off, positioning Airbus as a trusted partner and giving it a significant foothold in the world's fastest-growing aviation market. Today, the competition between Boeing, Airbus, and China's own COMAC is reshaping the market, as each company vies for dominance in a rapidly evolving landscape. China's journey from customer to competitor is now transforming the global aviation order, with its ambitions and innovations influencing the industry's future worldwide. Boeing's relationship with China has soured amid rising US-China tensions and internal crises. Trade disputes and export controls made Boeing seem unreliable to Chinese buyers, turning commercial deals into political risks. The 737 MAX disasters and production issues further eroded trust, with China quick to ground the aircraft and slow to recertify it. As Airbus secures major Chinese orders, Boeing is left on the sidelines, its dominance fading. Losing China threatens Boeing's future, not just in sales, but in funding new aircraft development. The company now faces a tough balancing act, lobbying for better US-China relations while trying to regain Chinese trust. Thousands of American jobs and Boeing's global standing hang in the balance. The era of Boeing's supremacy in China is over, replaced by uncertainty and geopolitical risk. While Boeing struggles, Airbus has capitalized on the moment with a long-term strategy of partnership and local investment. By building assembly lines in Tianjin and integrating into China's economy, Airbus has earned trust and major orders. A second assembly line is set to open, deepening Airbus's commitment and capacity in China. This approach has paid off with multi-billion-pound deals, making the A320 the single-aisle jet of choice for Chinese airlines. Airbus's CEO even suggests the industry is moving from a duopoly to a triopoly, acknowledging COMAC's rise. The contrast with Boeing is stark. While one is mired in politics, the other is expanding and thriving. Airbus's strategy has secured its place as China's preferred Western partner for years to come. COMAC stands at the heart of China's aviation ambitions, representing not just a company, but a national mission to transform the country into a global leader in aerospace. It embodies the nation's drive for technological independence and innovation, fueling a new era for Chinese engineering. Founded in 2008, COMAC's mission is to break the Western grip on commercial aircraft manufacturing, challenging the dominance of established giants. Starting at home, COMAC aims to first serve China's vast domestic market, then expand its wings for global reach. Its first jet, the ARJ-21, now known as the C909, marked a bold step forward for the company, and although it faced years of delays and technical hurdles, it gave Chinese engineers vital experience in modern aircraft design and production. The real breakthrough, however, is the C919, a narrow-body jet designed to directly rival the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320, two of the world's best-selling aircraft. Backed by massive state support, government funding, and a national push for self-reliance, the C919's first commercial flight in 2023 was a milestone of national pride, celebrated across China as a symbol of progress. But COMAC's ambitions don't stop there. Wide-body jets like the C929 and C939 are already in development, targeting the lucrative long-haul international markets and aiming to compete with the world's best. Even a conceptual supersonic airliner is on the drawing board, hinting at China's ambitions to leapfrog into the future of flight. While these ambitious projects are still years from becoming reality, they signal China's intent to build a full range of competitive aircraft, from regional jets to intercontinental airliners. COMAC is no longer just a dream. Its aircraft are flying, its engineers are learning, and its ambitions are growing with every milestone. As COMAC's presence expands at international air shows and on global routes, it's clear China's national champion is becoming a true force in global aviation. Despite the hype, COMAC faces steep challenges in scaling up C919 production. Orders are high, but deliveries lag far behind, exposing the difficulty of building a world-class manufacturing system from scratch. The C919 relies heavily on Western suppliers for engines and key systems, making it vulnerable to export controls. A U.S. suspension of engine licenses in 2025 briefly halted production, highlighting this strategic weakness. China is developing its own engine, but it's years from commercial use. International certification is another hurdle. The C919 can't fly outside China without FAA or EASA approval, which is still years away. Until then, its market is limited to China and a few allies. COMAC's global ambitions are real, but for now, its reach is constrained by technology and regulation. Aviation has become a central battleground in the ongoing US-China rivalry, with aircraft orders, technology exports, and even regulatory decisions increasingly wielded as powerful political tools. The skies are no longer just about transportation. They're a stage for global influence and competition. The US leverages export controls and regulatory pressure to limit China's access to advanced aviation technology, hoping to maintain its edge. But these moves also push Beijing to accelerate its drive for self-sufficiency, invest heavily in domestic innovation, and deepen strategic partnerships with Airbus and other non-US suppliers. High-profile espionage cases and trade secret thefts highlight the immense stakes of this technological race, as both sides seek to protect their competitive advantages and national security interests. China's growing preference for Airbus and its own COMAC jets is a calculated, strategic response, diversifying suppliers, rewarding international cooperation, and reducing reliance on US manufacturers in the face of mounting tensions. The economic stakes are enormous. China's projected demand for nearly 10,000 new jets by 2044 represents a market worth trillions of dollars, shaping the future of the global aviation industry and the fortunes of the companies involved. Every lost Boeing order is more than a missed sale. It's a blow to US jobs, manufacturing, and the broader American aerospace sector, while every Airbus or COMAC win not only boosts Europe or China's industry, but also shifts the balance of global economic power. Yet the reality is complex. American firms still profit by supplying critical parts and technology to COMAC, weaving a tangled web of conflicting interests and dependencies that defy simple solutions. The brief U.S. engine export suspension in 2025 was a stark reminder of how deeply intertwined politics and business have become in aviation, with decisions reverberating across global supply chains. Navigating this turbulent landscape where commerce, technology, and geopolitical conflict overlap, will challenge policymakers, industry leaders, and diplomats for years to come. The future of aviation is now inseparable from the shifting dynamics of global power politics, making every decision in the industry a matter of international consequence. Industry experts agree. The Boeing-Airbus duopoly is over in China, replaced by a new three-way contest. Airbus's CEO sees a triopoly emerging, with COMAC set to dominate its home market. Yet skepticism remains about COMAC's global prospects. Without international certification, the C919 is locked out of key markets. Experts warn that COMAC's reliance on Western technology makes it vulnerable to export restrictions, tempering claims of self-sufficiency. Still, some see hope. Ryanair's CEO has said he'd consider the C919 if the price is right, hinting at a possible entry point. If COMAC can secure certification and prove reliability, aggressive pricing could win over budget airlines. The road is long, but COMAC's ambitions can't be dismissed. The global market is watching and waiting. The aviation world is being reshaped by China's ambitions and shifting geopolitics. Boeing and Airbus's long reign is ending, replaced by a more complex multipolar market. Airbus has secured its place as China's top Western supplier. COMAC, despite challenges, is guaranteed a big domestic share. Boeing faces an uncertain future, squeezed by politics and lost trust. For travelers, this means more flights on Airbus and COMAC jets in China, and fiercer competition worldwide. But it also risks a fragmented market, with different standards and new barriers. The rise of COMAC signals a world where technological power is no longer Western alone. The skies ahead promise new rivalries, shifting alliances, and a future where the flag on a plane's tail matters more than ever.